All right, we're live. Welcome back to the Becoming Alpha podcast. Today we have on a good friend of mine, Auston Litton. We've been friends since high school, and
we're ready to talk about some things.
Because apparently I got something to say.
Well, I changed it, and now we both have something.
How many of these have you done so far?
This is the seventh.
Is it? They've mainly just been with you and kind of Julian, right?
No.
So I had Julian on twice. Then I had my friend Kate, who's a Kundalini yoga teacher, and I had I had Elio or Eros, and then I have Kyle. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, Kyle was
I
on.
must have missed that post.
Yeah, you must have.
I might have to listen to that one then.
It was good. It was about basically how to be an alpha, like
Like a real alpha male,
and not like a fake
Poser male.
poser male, like a beta alpha male.
Mm-hmm.
I guess something like that. This
this feedback is really annoying me.
Yeah, it is. It's real heavy.
Let's see if we take it out.
So
the headphones.
Okay.
I don't think it'll matter. Whoa! That's terrible. Yeah.
I'll do that. Whatever. I think we'll just have to deal with the feedback. Or you might need to mute your phone.
Oh, just use the noise. Oh, you know what?
It is the phone. Just
Yeah, your phone is.
the feedback. Gotcha.
Gotcha. Still working the kinks out on this one. Does it have a mute option?
Yes, turned all the way down.
Oh, that's a little better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I just turned down my headphones.
So I
just turned down my headphones so I can hear you
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a better way to do it. Just turn down my headphones.
Yeah.
And all right, well, we're back on track.
Still working the kinks out.
But yeah, you should definitely watch the podcast with me and Kyle. It was pretty cool.
I didn't even know you did.
Yeah,
I don't think he even told me.
really?
Yeah.
We went to the square root, the combo bar down on Harbor Springs.
Yeah, he did not tell me this.
You didn't?
Oh, have you been to the combo bar?
No.
It's really
And wait,
legit.
y'all did it there?
No, we went there and we kind of talked about what we were gonna.
Talk about
Yeah, and then we went to his house and set up like this. Here we were talking back and forth with each other. And yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Well, it seems to be smoothing out a little bit now. I
yeah,
think this kind of setup is much better than like you sitting in front of the computer just staring at it, or having somebody next to you like,
yeah,
and you're like talking at the computer instead of just having a conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely cooler way to do it. I like it.
It's like
Kind of more legit.
If you stick to it, it'll smooth out. You know, like Joe Rogan started on his couch.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. And now he's all big time and so.
I let it
kind of get to my head recently.
just like not getting as much views as I want to.
I mean, regardless, you got to work it out.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if only 5 people are watching it or whatever, you got to really smooth it out. And already it's smoothed out.
Yeah, that's kind of what's been happening. Is it's like, you know, look where someone like Joe Rogan started at.
Yeah.
He started literally on the couch, and he would only interview his friends, just like pretty much I've been doing.
Pretty much bullshitting and like
Or just you have like, interesting friends. I think everyone's interesting, but I mean, we started there,
and now he's the top podcast.
Yeah, his last one got like 3 million views.
I haven't been listening to him that much lately. I got a little burnt out.
Yeah.
I get burnt out sometimes, dude. Like, because I work online.
Yeah.
And so
I'll just listen to podcasts or something like all day, and it's almost like too much. Like you're absorbing too much. And then like your brain freaks out.
Yeah, you got a million gears going at the same time. You're trying to think about all this philosophical shit that they've been talking about. You gotta start watching out for your copyright though when you get big,
Yeah, exactly.
Brain recognition.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's the thing.
I always because I do watch so many podcasts. I always have that kind of.
I always have that. I'm gonna have to switch kind of manually between us for the rest of this time. It keeps
me switching back and forth between our screens because here's me over there and right here.
Oh, okay. I'm not switching at all. I just have you.
Yeah, I know. But I'll just whenever you talk.
How does it switch to that camera?
I have to manually do it.
Oh, okay. So you're controlling everything, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
whenever you talk, I'll just switch it over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I mean, that's kind of the issue with having so much
information is that
it's really difficult to ever make a decision.
Like, let's say if I wanted to do something more with the podcast, I've like gathered, and I'm not like bragging, but I've gathered so much information from like listening to things that it'd be difficult to do something because there's so much
information and some of it's conflicting. So it's difficult to go forward when you have so much information. You gotta empty your brain out a little bit and be like, I don't care what other people think.
Well, you just have to be non-biased.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a mutual ground for people to talk to.
Yeah.
It's like basically what I've come to is that I just have to do what I like, and if people also like it, then that's good. I just need to do what I do.
Yeah.
And not be focused.
Don't worry about the views or anything.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
one of the biggest things. It's just like not caring
or not
worrying yourself about the little things, bro.
Yeah, not paying attention to like hypotheticals. That fucking kills
us.
Yeah.
Like just a giant bullshit.
And the more that you do it, you practice, you'll be able to smooth out the podcast more. The conversations will become more fluid.
Yeah. You just do it over and over again. That's kind of like the key to being successful at everything. Just do it a bunch, and then you will be shitty at it for a long time, and then one day you won't be shitty at it.
You hope.
Yeah, you hope.
So, how long have you been doing Lyft?
Lyft?
Yeah.
A while, maybe like 6 months.
And what car are you using?
So I'm using the Ford Escape.
It's pretty good. I remember we got in 2 accidents. Not accidents, but they were
incidents.
Yeah, incidents.
Incidents.
I ran into the tree driving out of the driveway. So there's like a little dent
on the back part of my car,
and then another one was when I dropped someone off. I was picking someone up at an apartment complex. They didn't tell me the gate code, so I was sitting at the gate, and they were like calling me and being like, they weren't like drunk or anything, but they just like didn't speak very well.
And so they just, and at one point, they got in the car And
I was kind of disoriented and started backing up. And then I ran into one of those cement posts that are right by the gate.
Yeah.
So it just like scratched up the car. It was not
cool.
No.
Where's the Audi?
Audi. Yeah, we got towed.
Oh, so that's what happened. It got towed out there.
Yeah, it was freaking stupid. It got towed. Yeah, it was in front of. It's in front of my house, first of all. I know technically it's the law if it's like inoperable.
Yeah, you have to move it every so often.
Yeah, you have to move it every so often.
You hadn't moved it in a while?
Yeah, I think a few days.
Didn't you get a notice on the windshield or something?
Yeah, I got a notice, and I called the officer that was on the car that was on the notice, and I cleared it up with him. And that's why I got rid of it.
What did you tell him?
Well, I told him it was perfectly operable because last time I checked it was. And I was like, yeah, it was just a while ago. And
it's just your extra car?
Yeah, it was just my extra car.
He was like,
yeah, no problem, that seems fine. And he was like, yeah, everything should be cleared up. So I was like, okay. And then the freaking next day, it's gone. Like I wake up and go outside, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Nowhere. And so I left him a message, and then I was going to call 911 and say that my vehicle was stolen.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what my next door neighbor said to do, because if it was taken by
somebody else, yeah, maybe just coincidentally got stolen on the night.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
right. But anyway, so he called me back, but
another officer had picked it up.
And so I was like, all right, well, and then I left him a pretty angry voicemail because I think it's
a stupid law anyways. Like if it's my car and if it's in front of my house,
legally parked, it should be totally fine. I don't. It's just ridiculous.
He said like the battery didn't work, and I was like, how did he know? Did he like get into my car and try and start it with the extra key?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? That's ridiculous. That's like borderline.
That's like borderline.
That would be against the law.
And for all they know, you just swap batteries when you drive it.
Yeah,
exactly. You can easily take the battery out of your car now and just pop it in there to go drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just stupid. And I said it's a waste of taxpayer money. I was like, this is like borderline harassment. Like they left me 2 notices. I moved it twice.
I mean, it's not really that much of a waste of money on their part though, because you have to pay for it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, the time that an officer spends going around looking for broken down vehicles, or this isn't even a vehicle that's been abandoned. It's just my vehicle in front of my house.
I understand the law behind it. There's good reason behind it, but I think there is a lot of gray areas.
Like me. It's my car. It's not some random fucking car in the middle of the street, just sitting there. Like,
well, they're trying to keep junker, like piece of shit automobiles out there.
Okay, he said like a flat rear tire.
They had a flat. Okay, well that's gonna make it look worse.
Well, because that's because it's been sitting for a while.
Exactly. So. I mean, by law, you fit into the category perfectly.
That's so stupid.
And
I didn't even know it had a flat tire.
It looks like a hoopty if it's out there with a flat tire. However, I do agree that I don't think it had a flat tire. Like it did look fine. Like you drove it occasionally.
Yeah.
And it's not like a real bad. It's still like a decent looking Audi.
Yeah.
It's just chilling. So. I do think that's a gray area, and it is bullshit that if you would have already cleared it up with the officer and then it gets towed the next day.
Yeah.
And that's what I told him.
I was like, is there any way I can get in contact
with the person who did
this so that we can clear that up? No, you fucking aren't. Bitch. God. That pisses me off.
I just,
Well, I'm pretty sure you did drive it too recently, didn't you? Wasn't it parked the opposite way?
I had to move it because of the notice, and then they kept putting it on. What I think is that,
what I think
is that someone has been calling about my car.
Aha,
Some like
a neighbor. It's probably across the street or something.
Yeah, it's some old fuck.
Well, think about this though. Isn't the neighbor across the street? Doesn't their driveway back out to where your car would be parked?
Um,
You see what I'm saying? So if they, over there.
I don't think it would be him because he has cars there all the time. He's a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So he
has like people's cars.
Okay. I would assume maybe since they back out of the driveway, maybe they're just getting like tired of it being back there when they pull out.
It could be,
But if he's a mechanic too, he might not
I
care.
think he looks like a pretty like rough dude.
He wouldn't.
I don't know though. He might be a little anal if he's like that.
Maybe. But I mean, he has cars. His thing.
Do they come and go quick though?
Sort of.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes.
Either way, I mean, if it was him, he could have came and asked you.
Yeah, I mean, anyone could.
Yeah.
Like,
Why not? Just because you asked me about it. That's ridiculous.
So, how much is the ticket?
I don't know yet. I left the
officer message. He's going to tell me
where it is.
Well, each day it's an impound. It
Yeah.
accumulates.
Probably a lot. And I'll be like, okay, you did it, bitch.
Like,
And how are you going to get it back here?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw it back here. Like that's so dumb. Like, thank you.
What exactly is wrong with it? Other than I guess it has a flat tire.
there's something up with the. I don't think
you say there's something up with the clutch.
No,
I'm pretty sure it got the clutch replaced.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was fixing it up, but he just waiting to do more work on it.
Mm-hmm.
But he might not want it anymore because they found out that it needed more repairs.
So, yeah.
I mean, at first it was a transmission. It needed a full new transmission. Because the C-Pros or whatever they're called.
Yeah. Well, that
needed a whole new clutch.
And then the
AC needs to be replaced.
Completely. And that was like probably more like 2000.
And you got the clutch replaced,
Pretty sure the clutch and transmission
were replaced.
but not the AC.
Not the AC, it works fine. It had just been sitting there.
So
The
the
battery
was probably just
Oh, yeah.
pooped.
was probably doing
Doing
nothing.
nothing.
And that'll happen to
in
any.
any car.
It will. Batteries don't. Batteries. Yeah, they're not. It's not good to have them go through cycles of sitting and then powering.
Yeah.
That'll kill them.
Yeah.
So if it turns out to be a lot of money,
I'm just
be
gonna be
like,
like,
it's
it's already like half of what it's worth. So
Mm-hmm.
what
what
am I doing?
But I feel bad because it was a car that
It was a car that my mom's boss sold to me.
Yeah.
For, pretty decent price. So
I
I
feel
feel
bad
bad
about
about
it.
it just because it's like
Well,
it was his car and in pretty good condition.
Now
It's just
poopsicle.
well, let me know how much it ends up being.
Why?
Well, if you end up dumping it and you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna pay that, maybe I'll just go pay it.
Fix it up or something?
I don't not fix it up, maybe make it run.
make it run.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want. I don't really have an interest
in doing that because I'm looking to get it
Put it in the garage.
Yep. Another cluster, because then you have to get it up the hill into the garage.
You start over and get it in the garage. And then
Yeah.
Technically, I could have you come down.
Just let me know how much it ends up being, because yeah, like you said, it might not be worth it to you if it ends up being like half the price of it. Because I know it's not really worth that much. Like
It's maybe
maybe.
$500.
Yeah.
There's no AC.
Who's gonna buy that?
in Texas?
And it doesn't run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is all
insult to injury.
This is all incriminating evidence too. The cops are gonna watch this podcast and be like, "Oh yeah, no, we know it doesn't." You're not getting out of this one.
They're gonna be like, "We found you."
That would be a waste of taxpayers' money because that would mean that some cop is sitting there on Facebook looking you up.
No, well, for what happened yesterday
is a
is
waste of
taxpayer
taxpayer
money because I see so many cars
around here parked on the side that have been sitting there.
Oh yeah, those
No one
trucks
says
out
anything
there.
about it.
No one does, and I know
specifically because of me. It was probably someone who just saw it, or probably someone that doesn't like me. I remember there's this.
You think you have that many enemies, especially that live close to you? Or you think it's somebody just driving around like, yep, that's Sam's house. Fuck it, I'm gonna call about his car.
well, what I'm thinking is that roommate we kicked out.
Oh,
No,
I don't think that would happen, but you never know. I mean, she could have just been like,
because didn't y'all have a little final exchange? Maybe
yeah.
she's just trying to have her last laugh at you, like I'll get his car towed or something.
yeah, that might be
a thing.
That could be a thing.
Yeah, it's just getting my car towed, like driving by, having a little nostalgic moment.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
Oh,
look at here.
You know what? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
My bad.
Maybe she gave you the flat tire.
Well,
I
I
blocked her
blocked her
number,
number,
so I'll never know. She'll never be able to contact me again.
Well, she still has your pan, right?
She took my pan.
The lid.
The lid. Not even the pan. Not even the pan.
The lid to your pan.
Oh my god.
oh my gosh. Some people,
dude.
So how was Baltimore?
it was really cool, dude. They're that place is really interesting because where Veronica lives is in the historical district, basically, which is called Mount Vernon. And the architecture there is incredible.
It's very New Englandy.
Yeah,
it's like
founders.
of this country.
Yep. I mean, that's where they all came, though. You know, that areas
England-ish.
up there is where they're for. I notice that every time I travel, it's like very much more New Englandy.
Yeah.
As you come like from the tip down, it slowly fades out more.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. There's a lot of
old buildings. Like there's a bunch of just like basically decommissioned mansions that they've turned into like public spaces, which is really weird. But like a church
where there's
church and stuff, but then there's also like yoga and like gothic chapels that are like massive.
Have all those really cool like
geometric work on them. And, we went to the monument in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And like obelisk. We went up to the top, and it was cool because you had to walk up like I think it was like I can't remember if it was like 20-something flights of stairs.
But yeah, it was like this circular thing that went all the way
to the top, and then
like a lighthouse kind of staircase.
Yeah, and then you get up to the top. There's like a view of the city. It was cool. And then we got to see the empty statue area where they knocked over the Confederate statue, which is fucking dumb. I think
that's so stupid.
Yeah,
people are so triggered.
They are.
Can't handle it, man.
Sometimes they just get bored. They get so bored that they want to trigger something.
Yeah, it's like
okay. First of all, every nation's history is gross. It's bloody, and every wealthy nation had slaves. So shut the fuck up about it.
And not just certain races. Slaves. It was all across the board.
Chinese,
Egyptians,
Africans, basically anything they could get their hands on.
Yeah,
and that's
also it was in Africa.
it's like, oh my god,
it's just. I think it's mostly because people like they like rebelling against things. They like being a part of something.
Yeah.
Being like, being against evil, so to speak. Like they like that feeling of being morally right. And then I don't know. I don't think that exists, but
What morally right people?
yeah,
Or being morally right?
it can be subjective. I think.
It can be. But there's a lot of views.
Yeah, there's a lot of views. And also, it's like,
I don't know, whether or not people, I didn't agree with
exactly what
the Confederacy was doing. Like I didn't agree with slavery, but that's because of the context I'm coming from. And then it's like, okay, well they built this country. They traveled around with fucking horses.
Yeah.
They were a different type of people. Like we live so comfortably.
I know.
Like even if you're poor, you live like
Better than they did.
Yeah, you live better than everyone did.
Yeah.
Except maybe like a plantation. They didn't have medicine. Now we have hospitals.
Yeah.
Like back then they had like witch doctors.
I know. We just watched a documentary about like the plague, and how it traveled across.
God.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Pretty much every new civilization just brought in disease and just killed everybody off.
Yeah.
And everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. I mean, like that's the thing. People. Yeah, like I don't agree with a lot of it, but they were, and it's not an excuse that they can do stuff like that, but it's a different type of people. They were real rough, and even when they started doing the whole, they started making slavery illegal.
Everyone thinks it was just like all the decisions it was so terrible.
Yeah.
And I think it partially was, but a lot of it was like they just secured the voting base forever. Like
it would behoove like the nation to do it.
And it's like now they have a large majority vote of the population, which was slaves, a lot of them. And again, only white, wealthy landowners had slaves. A lot of white people didn't have slaves. That shit is crazy. You want to go tear down historical monuments? Go fucking shut down the Federal Reserve.
I don't know if there's two sides to every coin about it. I'm not sure if I agree with them tearing down historical monuments, but in some ways I do see the point of it.
Yeah.
And I know they're coming from a more biased type of view, like against slavery, and not necessarily looking at the historical part of it. And I'm not trying to subject anybody. I'm just saying them as in like the group of let's tear down the monuments. Yeah. So I think there can be an argument against that, but it should be taken up a little differently than just going and like lynching a rope around it and pulling it down like a riot almost.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, what is the right way to go about that? Because it would take forever trying to do it legally through the courts, and I don't know if it'd make as much of a statement. Well, it wouldn't, because eventually it'd burn out in the media. Group of activists are trying to get the Confederate statues taken down, and then it would just sit and cycle forever.
Yeah.
And then nothing would ever get done.
Yeah. That's true.
It's almost like our court system. It's the same way.
Yeah.
Almost everything about our nation is slow.
Yeah, because it's
a
lot of it's
bureaucratic.
Yep.
Well, it is bureaucratic
in that sense.
So
I think something needs to happen, but I don't know what.
Yeah, definitely something. I think a lot of history and even science. A lot of what we were taught as kids is just fucking blind. Like, just straight up. Like, we were taught as kids, the fucking food pyramid
was right.
was right,
and it's not.
And it was
just
the
the
agriculture.
I wish we could have learned more things about taxes and
Yeah,
healthcare. Yeah, things we need to worry about.
Yeah, things we actually need to learn.
never learned.
I learned Columbus discovered America,
Which
which
was
it was abject
Did he, though?
bullshit.
Did he?
No, he didn't know
Exactly.
about America.
Exactly. It's not even right.
It's not right at all. He didn't even land
And
on
that's
that part of the continent.
that's basing everything off of written down text from somebody.
Yeah,
Everything that we believe in history could have easily just been made up at some point.
Oh yeah, it could have just been made up by a dude.
Mhm.
It's like like the whole Columbus thing. It's like they didn't learn that there were people there
Already,
got there.
It's funny that when we did learn it in history, they just null and void the fact that there's kind of already people there, and it was like, oh, he came over here and discovered it, but and then we'll come back around to the people that were there.
And it's like
how many nations existed?
Yeah.
And you think they all just
Worth like
what did they sprout up from the ground?
Yep.
And also the Vikings discovered that North American continent.
Yep.
Like in 1300s.
like a long time before that.
So I mean,
Yeah, we learned things so out of like historical events. It was just like blotchy.
yeah.
Yeah, you learn this, and then we'll jump around over to here, and then we'll jump over to here, instead of just like whoop, 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 in a timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think most of it, I have a pretty strong opinion about public education, and I can't really talk much to that because I didn't really try.
hmm
So I'm not going to really talk to the efficacy of it because I didn't try very hard.
Do you think maybe you didn't try as hard because a little part of you knew it was bullshit?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just because public school or schooling in general is forced.
Yeah.
So you have to have an education. I don't agree with that really at all. But public schooling is basically for poor people who are lower on the economic scale, or people who don't want to take their kids to private school because it's too much. So basically, people who don't want to spend as much money.
Well, a lot of private schools though are real religious based.
Oh yeah. So maybe
You have that too.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Public school is like
so.
public school is basically so that
I don't really think saying public schools for the poor.
Public
There's a lot of rich public schools out
That's
there.
very true.
We went to a very rich public school.
that's
yeah.
true.
Definitely not for the poor. I
I
think
think
what
what part of it is like usually wealthier people
are
are
better
better off
with
with their kids.
Yeah.
With all of that stuff. I think what public schools are aimed at is for minority people. So the whole it's more like forced indoctrination into whatever they tell you. So it's like
you're
you're
going
going to learn this information regardless of whether or not it's correct or whether or not it's applicable to your life. And we don't care because it's against the law if you don't. And if you don't get an education, then we'll take your child from your parents because you should no longer have a child. That's kind of the whole deal about it. I think it's more forced indoctrination. So we don't think for ourselves, because if we did, when someone teaches us something like Columbus discovered America, and then we go, because literally when I learned that, and then we learned there were other people there, I was like, well, immediately in my head, I was like, well, then what about those people?
Yeah.
Like you start to ask the wrong questions, like when we freaking learned about the Big Bang or whatever. It's like just ask the wrong questions. It's the same kind of mentality that religions have. Like in Sunday school, when you ask the wrong questions, where did God come from? And then they're like, whoa, I don't know about that. Don't ask those kind of questions.
I think it's just built. The structure of it is built wrong.
Yeah.
Mainly like everything else in our nation.
Yeah.
With government and with religion and education, all of it was built very quickly, relatively quickly in a short amount of time. And the structure is just not right. It's kind of like when a business opens up and they immediately they're huge all of a sudden. They haven't had those building blocks to set up yet. They've just tried to throw things in place.
Have you seen
the
No.
Oh, you should watch that.
The oligarchy?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's something about the oil industry.
It's about
John
D. Rockefeller
Mhm.
and her family.
Yeah.
Basically invented modern society.
Yeah. It's crazy how there's a select few in there that had such an impact.
And what's funny
Like
is
Genghis Khan, and his, he's got a percentage of his DNA out there. 'Cause he had so many wives and so many kids. Yeah.
He just
He just busted up and then left. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Jeez.
that guy was
a savage.
God.
Or were you
just
going
going around
Talk about
chopping
this.
and
Fucking
jizzing in them?
Jeez.
Yeah. Bro. See, those are the kind of people that founded the nations we live in today.
Mhm.
They're fucking savage.
Yep.
Like even the, people get offended when we call Native Americans savages. But everyone was savage back then. It was pretty subjective and stupid for the Europeans to go, oh, y'all are savage, and then fucking murder whole tribes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's stupid. But if we look back on it, they were all savage. We had to live in that environment.
I think a big thing that wiped out the Indians though is disease.
Yeah.
That killed more Indians than any
Yeah.
Native American or any European did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Diseases we brought, also freaking animals we brought.
Which is actually that alone kind of asks, brings up another question: is what happens whenever we meet a new alien race per se?
Yeah.
Do they give us diseases, or do we give them diseases,
Yeah.
or vice versa? That I think when that time comes, there might be a big issue with how we interact. That could wipe out a lot of our race or their race.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's always weird
it is weird.
to think about.
Like,
if
if
aliens came, how would that change us?
And then
Like
how
would
interact.
interacting with them change us?
It's like,
Like
Getting
to that point, if someone could actually travel between worlds,
like
they would have to have become
become
immune to like some super bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond
Unless
anything.
they keep suit on the whole time, like we are, supposed to.
Yeah,
if
if they're sterilized, but I feel like if they're more intelligent, they would just like make their body stronger,
Mhm.
or like make technologies that would help them adapt to it,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Maybe
Maybe have like
because
vaccines doesn't do it because
like
eventually
things
become adapt to things.
So
Exactly. Your immune system builds up.
Yes, you have to like fortify your body somehow with like I don't know, like nanobots,
Pathogens,
Yeah.
nanobots.
or just like slowly
like
introduce pathogens into your body like in very tiny
Yeah, but
amounts.
yeah,
kind of like vaccines. That's kind of backwards.
almost, because you have to already
Kind of like
been. Yeah,
I don't think it works like that.
It
I'm
doesn't.
thinking of something like snake venom.
there's been a bug behind you this whole time.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, whatever.
I'll just let them be.
Getting back to the fucking oligarchy, the person who started the pharmaceutical industry, the education system was
Yeah.
created by John D. Rockefeller.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make us into factory workers. The pharmaceutical industry was started by him as well.
And
He is the son
of
of a snake oil salesman. Who was one of those people who go around selling oil.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and he would basically, he would lie about what the oil did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they would basically say it was like a panacea.
Yeah,
all that
it'll
stuff.
cure everything,
Yeah,
and they would
cure
just
all
jump
things.
from town to town because nobody would, track them down, and there's almost no way to track somebody down
Yeah.
that easily back then.
Exactly.
It's just easier to let it go.
People.
Yeah.
your horses.
A bunch of exactly travel town to town, however they are.
It's just a huge investment.
Do anything.
Yeah.
That's just so crazy. But I mean, he set up education, energy, fucking financial system. Most of it is almost the same as when it started. So that's why, and I think that's why public schools are created. It's kind of like getting those last few people. They can't get to the religious private school people because they do whatever they want in private school.
Yeah.
They follow a curriculum and they do the classes.
Yeah,
they have their own beliefs.
They stay in their own little circle.
Yeah, but if you go to the school, you can just be indoctrinated into whatever kind of system they live in.
Yeah.
And typically, it's just like absorb this information and then regurgitate it. But I think you know, it's exactly like when they start talking about like the Big Bang. Like science isn't about religion, but then you think the whole universe came from nothing, exploded from nothing, and that instead of that explosion breaking things down, all other explosions do, it created everything.
Yeah.
It's fucking retarded. It's like it's like, okay, if that's not a belief, I don't know what it is. That's certainly a religious view, even if you have evidence. It's like you don't know what happened.
Yeah. I mean, no one really knows what happened.
But that's the reason, is because it shuts your brain up into thinking more about it. Oh, you've got it figured out.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it, even if that is slightly accurate. Maybe it is, but I don't think so. But maybe it is, but it closes your brain off to it, so you don't do anything.
You don't have that gear turning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's kind of what happens. Is it's like in biology. Oh, we pretty much know everything. Like there's a lot of stuff we do know, like about genes and our anatomy and everything like that. But then you get to something like evolution, and it becomes real problematic. And when you start questioning it, you're like, they found one bone,
yeah,
and can reconstruct an entire lifetime of an animal. It's fucking stupid.
Well, they haven't found any biblical references.
References. What do you mean?
Yeah, they haven't found like the bones of Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the Holy Grail or anything.
Yeah, they haven't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's another thing. That'd be interesting if we did find some of that.
It would be, but
we haven't. That's so many bones, though.
There's a lot of
To
bones.
go through to find Jesus.
But they know where he was.
We have
that's
true.
A huge document that tells his life story.
There's a
There's
lot
a
of
lot of interesting stuff about Jesus.
There is.
Especially like some people think he went through like the Egyptian mystery schools and went to Tibet and like hung out with the monks and then went to fucking like, all over the world.
Yeah.
And then started his like ministry, which is interesting. I like a lot of what he says. But
Yeah, but I don't know if what he says was even said.
yeah, exactly.
It could have just
Also,
been another one of those things where a lot of it, it could have been somebody writing a story down.
Yeah.
Back then, that was a very long time ago.
Yeah, that's the problem with historical data is that
We don't even know if it's accurate.
Yeah, all of it's interpretation,
Yeah.
and a lot of it could be allegorical.
Mm-hmm.
another part is that
The burning of the Library of Alexandria, which held like all of the knowledge, I shouldn't say. You're on camera.
I know. I'm looking at my hair. My beating's got it all ratchet.
But yeah, the burning of the Library of Alexandria destroyed all the knowledge we had previous to that. So then what happened is we rewrote all that stuff from memory. And all those people were European. I mean, Julius Caesar ran out of the library. Out don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, what a cunt.
Yeah, obviously it had something in there that they didn't want people knowing.
Yeah. Like all the secrets of the universe, probably.
Maybe.
Like it was.
Maybe the fact that aliens visited us a long time ago.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
I mean, I don't really know, but
It definitely could be.
and yeah, they rewrote all of it. And for example, you know that it's thought that people used to see ghosts back then because they didn't have as much stimulants coming into their brain. You know, that's the reason why ghosts were seen and they had strange views on things. It could have been the same way. They wrote the book not having very much going on, and they were like, well, let's just make them part the sea, and he's done all these things just as like far out imaginations for them.
Yeah. I mean,
They can easily write fiction or fact, just like we can.
yeah. I mean, imagine how much of that detail is just
them filling in the blanks with things they kind of remember.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
just
crazy.
Oh, 1 second. I need to put that phone on mute.
Like maybe he went to a part of the sea, and they were like, "Oh, he parted the sea."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Is it?
It's showing your phone right now. Oh, there it goes. It switched.
Why is it doing that? Is it talking now?
Is it? Hello.
There we go.
The camera on your phone though is looking at the door,
Ah.
like it's switched.
Is it good?
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Oh no, it's sideways. Yeah, it's sideways. How's that?
That's weird.
Oh my gosh. Good golly.
What is going on? Why would it be sideways?
Flip your phone. Like, and then do.
Oh, that's why.
What is over there? What is that? Is that a humidifier?
I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, is that a fan or a humidifier?
It's a air filter.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it doesn't feel that thick in here.
But yeah,
Like all of history could be a lie.
I feel like
we have to
we have to, I don't know,
we have to kind of rediscover it
for
for ourselves.
Or maybe we just throw everything out
and just start
Start
fresh.
and we start with a science-based nation.
Yeah, real.
Real science.
Not fucking Neil deGrasse fuckface.
Neil deGrasse fuckface. Why do you say that?
Tantalizing you with his.
He's got a good
knowledge.
voice and a great
He's fucking
mustache.
charming.
He's
He's
soothing.
like Bill Nye the Science
He's
Guy.
very soothing. I think he's better than Bill Nye.
Bill
Bill
Nye.
Nye's been
Science
getting all
guy.
crazy. And,
Bill Nye the mechanical engineering guy.
Yeah.
He should be- No, he's definitely an astrophysicist.
He's starting to look like
for sure.
a bird.
Yeah,
But that
goddamn. That
shows
shows
like. And then getting into like we need to just throw out all the purely theoretical stuff. Just like get that shit out of here.
Yeah.
Because science is
Although everything was a theory before it was proven.
yeah, but science is observable.
we
You can't
can't
observe anything
that they
they
talk
talk about.
Well, we can. Maybe they can.
Why?
They have the
If
tools
we
and
can't-
technology. And we're not allowed to use those tools and
Yeah,
technology
exactly.
because we're normal
How
folk.
can we believe that? It's the same as the
Having someone
read a book for you.
like the
Until
church.
you- yeah.
reading your language for you.
It is.
This is what you need to know. about fucking everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not saying all of it is false.
I'm sure a lot of it is released publicly. It's just not. It's not easily accessible.
I don't know.
A lot of it's weird.
Maybe if they put it out there more in the media, and things like that to make it. But then you'll have fake news trying to come in on that shit too.
Yeah.
Which is dumb. I hate.
Yeah, exactly. Science is observable, repeatable, verifiable, and falsifiable, which means falsify it as well.
Yeah.
And that's how you verify everything. If we can't observe it and verify it, a lot of science has to go out the window. A lot of it. Because a lot of it's just kind of extrapolation, especially things like the Orbital universe,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of ridiculous because we've been to the moon. And even that is like probably bullshit. Like,
Oh my god.
You don't think the video of him jumping around is real?
No. No.
But other nations have been in the moon.
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure the Chinese have.
I've seen the videos. They look pretty.
They look like
And the
shot
Russians,
them in
right?
the desert.
The Russians beat us into space.
that's
That's what they say.
Right? It's history. It could be fake.
I mean, it could totally be fake. I'm not saying that it is. I don't believe that it is real.
Yeah.
It could totally be real.
Well, you never believed the Hubble telescope either.
I mean, I believe it, but it is it's a CGI composite of.
Well, it has to be though.
information.
It's not going to be a hard copy. They got to send it back
I
to
mean,
us.
It's the same as like the stupid shit on NASA's website where they have like
a photo
of the Earth
Mm-hmm.
and it's completely inaccurate.
Ow.
It's just like a CGI composite.
It's not flat. But well, that's what I'm saying. Though it has to be. It's a floating telescope. There's nobody
They can
on
just
it.
turn the Hubble
They can't just
telescope
put
around
They can't just put a
and
piece
just,
of
like,
mail
zoom
with the
in on
picture
the
in
Earth.
there, and like the little piece of
Yeah,
mail
they did.
flies back to us, and it's a hard copy.
They
have to digitally send it anyway. They do.
No.
Somebody out there has a picture of the Earth. Neil Armstrong,
They have like
Gerard Butler.
really weird looking pictures of it. Like
Like
the
the-
NASA one where it's like 24-hour
Matthew McConaughey probably has a picture of the Earth.
Interstellar.
Yeah,
No,
No,
dude,
dude.
we gotta get rid of NASA. It's fucking dumb.
they went to
Talking
space to
about-
film that movie.
There's a photo of the whole NASA team with Stanley Kubrick out in the desert.
Yeah,
He made 2001: Space Odyssey.
yeah.
Out in the desert, and they said they were doing practice runs. This
It's pictures of it.
Yeah,
Stanley
practice runs.
Kubrick's like, yeah, they're out in the desert. Looks the scene, the
Uh-huh.
place that they're at looks exactly like the footage, like side by side.
Uh-huh.
You're like, that's the same fucking thing. You guys are ridiculous.
What if they lost the footage?
They did.
Well, what if they really went to the moon and they lost the footage, and then they had to fly back and recreate it? Like the guy
They
coming back
could've-
was like, "Oh fuck, I didn't take the lens off, man."
It's all messed up.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they just
yeah.
redo it. So
Well, no, the one thing that was stupid is that they have the launch tapes,
Yeah.
so going into the atmosphere, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They have the rocket launch, and then everything in between that, they lost. So it's more than 20,000 tapes
That
that
they
they've lost on the way to the moon.
And
That's why there was that movie, Something Happened on the Way to the Moon.
on the way to the moon,
On the way to the moon.
they lost
They
20.
lost 23,000 tapes
of the recordings of them going, and then
when they get there, that's when they have the tapes.
when they're landing,
Uh-huh.
So they have when they're taking off,
and when they're landing, and
They
they
lost
the
the
tape.
tapes in between.
What about-
Which would have shown them going through space.
How do they have a tape of them taking off if someone had to get the tape back?
Yeah.
And what about the
Wrap your mind around it.
What about the return? What about the return flight? They don't have anything of that. Them floating around the spaceship or nothing. Mm-hmm.
They supposedly have a picture that
what's his face took Neil Armstrong
Yeah.
the Earth from
Yeah.
space.
that's
It's
like
like that's so fucking easy. Spielberg was doing that shit. Star Wars. It's not that fucking hard.
Yeah.
You just paint
a
a black surface
and put a
and
little
Earth.
bit of
Get a
paint.
painter.
They
They
make
make
put it
realistic
behind-
looking paintings.
Yeah, no, I know you can.
Yeah.
Have like a little person and a little.
yeah.
All those Star Wars movies were basically just like little toys
Miniature, yeah, floating around.
through a little painted area. I
I mean,
I don't think they did. Looking at the lunar lander, it looks fucking dumb. It looks like people make fun of it and say it looks like a tweaker
Mm-hmm.
shack, like a meth shack.
When did we go to the moon?
It was like 1969. Or
You know, we
something.
didn't have a successful organ transplant till the 50s.
Really?
That's crazy to think about. Only like 20 or 30 years later, we went to the moon. We were able to build suits and a craft that could withstand doing that.
Yeah, supposedly there's been like something like 6. United States Apollo 11 was the first man mission to the moon.
69.
Yeah, 1969.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So 20.
There have been 6 manned U.S. landings between 1969 and 1972.
But no one's gone since then, huh?
No one's gone since then. This is also a weird Mandela effect because everyone remembers only going once and never going back. And there's even like Neil deGrasse Tyson and some other people saying that we've only been once and we haven't come back.
Oh, so like
The
media,
6 more
Yeah.
is like
the 5 more,
it's like the 5 more is like the timelines.
they don't match up.
Yeah, the timelines don't match up. So people are like, wait, there's only one.
We
We don't remember the 6 in between.
Well, is it 6
Yeah,
American? Is it
there
all
have been
U.S.?
6 manned
Oh, yeah,
US
U.S.
landings.
Okay.
And numerous unmanned landings
with
no
no
soft landings. Motherfucking NASA pisses me off. NASA got, what was it, 15 trillion? How much was it? $18 billion.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
3.4 trillion.
To do
Dude,
what, bitch?
Oh, 3.4 trillion U.S. federal budget.
During a year.
Wow, that's a lot of money to budget out.
Yeah, there's a rocket up in the sky. Like, what are you gonna do with it? It's not
trippy.
in our. Yeah, that's weird. Anyways, that's not in. Stop. Like, that's so much money to be giving to an institution that loses that
So much money. Yeah,
stuff.
it goes down the drain.
Like,
Well, that's why
and also,
they were trying to end NASA.
Yeah, I mean, there's like space station footage that looks totally fake. It looks so fake. It's like, you guys are just faking stuff. That's okay.
Like what? Like they're flying up to the rim
Oh yeah, here.
and they're flying out.
I'll show.
Okay. I mean, I've seen footage of outer space. It looks. How are they doing it? How are they floating around?
How do they float around and move gravity?
Wires.
Yeah, it's easy.
What about those live feeds when they're talking to kids and stuff? They're like, "Hey, I'm on the space station."
Yeah, I mean,
Look at that. What are they doing? Hanging upside down?
yeah, like
this one. God damn it, NASA.
It is real bad quality.
What is that air doing? See,
I guess.
what they do is they have planes. You know,
Well, yeah, but those things only last for like a minute.
You can make it however long you want. You just have to go high enough and descend long enough. You can make it as long as you feel like.
I don't think they last that long. I don't think they last long enough.
Some of them they do it, but for this, it's really easy to make that hair effect.
Well, how's she
zero gravity?
bopping down like Michael Jackson right there? She's like,
She might have like weights in her boots. But look at that hair.
look, she's floating down the thing right now.
And
Mm-hmm. What's she doing?
I have no idea.
I mean, she could have gel in her hair. It is awfully like,
it looks weird, man.
it's not. I mean, the video quality is really bad on the Google Hangout.
On the Google Hangout, it is.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Look at mine compared to yours.
It's gonna be better quality whenever it
Streams.
Whenever it streams, yeah.
But I mean, here
Yeah.
Fake.
they
They
kind
kind of choose. That's really that's really easy to do. Let's see. There's some.
I don't. There's an awful lot of them, so they must do it a lot. Is that what they spend their $3 billion on?
Yeah.
Just flying people up in a
I mean, I
airplane.
think they spend it on faking it.
because I mean, what better way,
You know, what better way to use the money if you're just trying to make a show for everyone? Because I mean, if
What
you
would
can,
that have? What would that prove though? It's
you can get people to believe anything.
most of our society is religion based. They don't give a shit. So
I mean, you can get certain.
what are they getting out of it to make us think that they're flying to space?
You can get people to think whatever you want them to think.
I mean,
you can get them to think that you can do anything as long as they give you enough money for it.
I mean,
And also,
The only real reason I can think of is that they're trying to undermine religion because they make so much money and the government can't touch that they're trying to pull some of their money away. But then on the other hand, they're having to spend $3 billion to do that.
yeah,
exactly. How much money? How much money would they have
to
to spend if they just faked all that stuff?
so much,
So much.
that many,
Millions of dollars?
Yeah, but they're not getting that back from religious people coming, not spending money on religion. I don't know. It's a weird area.
It is a weird area. 'Cause
It's
it's
like,
like, I mean,
And that's all what if. It's not even.
yeah, it's all what if.
like
Even space is a what if.
like
I haven't been to space.
We're in space right now.
There's a select group of people that have been to space,
supposedly,
supposedly,
Mhm.
and outside of the atmosphere,
which
which is supposedly a vacuum,
Now
which
they have
also
to-
doesn't make much sense. But yeah, space doesn't make a lot of sense in general, because a vacuum, you need an enclosed space to create a vacuum, and it sucks all of the stuff out. So how's the
It doesn't
atmosphere work?
suck all the stuff out.
yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. You can stand in a
It
vacuum
would suck the atmosphere out.
unless you had
Oxygen
objects
and all
big
this
enough that created their own atmosphere.
How could you do that experiment?
You can't. You can't do that experiment.
Exactly. Isn't that convenient? You can't verify it. Like, you can't verify anything that happens in space.
Yeah. That just falls under one of those things that we'll never know though, like death.
That's the thing.
That's another thing. One of those things you'll never know. Why?
Because that's how it works.
I feel like they just want people to feel like that. It's like, oh, I know we can't go back and verify, whether or not the Lucy fossil ever had babies, or if those babies were different, the same as her, the missing link fossil or whatever. We can't go back and verify whether or not she survived long enough to find a mate who was like her. We don't know anything from that fossil other than something died. But
Lucy's just a branch in the DNA line. Like there's a lot of other things, a lot of other creatures that were fucking to create us.
Yeah, but all the fossil tells you, unless there's a baby with it, is that it died.
Yeah.
So it doesn't prove that anything happened. So they'll tell you that, and then it's like, oh, well,
we'll just never know. It's okay.
Yeah, but we won't know that one branch. Like there's so many other versions of what we came from. That's how we came to be. It's not just from one line.
I mean, that's debatable.
Like when people say that we just came from apes, but we didn't. Like there's a lot of ape variations that all came together to form.
But we can't observe an animal changing from one thing to another.
We can't. It takes too long.
Exactly. Isn't that convenient? It can never be verifiable in our lifetime, in each person's lifetime. You can never go out and see it. You can never be like, this cow gave birth to something that's not really a cow anymore. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but that's not how it works. It's not just one thing and all of a sudden it gave birth to something else. It just slowly.
Yeah, but I mean, even if there was some incremental thing, all we can observe is that animals produce the same kind of animal.
Yeah.
There's like a few hundred variations.
Unless it fucks a different animal.
When has another
like
species,
a goat person?
When has, let's say, a zebra and a horse?
Yeah.
The baby's sterile.
A zebra and a horse, or a horse and a mule.
Mule, whichever.
Whatever, they make a jackass or something like that.
Yeah, when things interbreed like that, usually it doesn't turn out well.
What about dogs?
Dogs?
Yeah.
I mean, they're still.
You get a labradoodle or
they're just shorter. They still have the features of a dog.
Yeah.
You don't get a squirrel eventually.
But apes aren't that much different than us.
They're if you had sex with a chimp, nothing would happen.
And when they say chimps, it's talking about like way back in the.
Again, that's another. I'm not saying you're wrong or they're wrong. It seems very
to agree with your point of view, though. Not that I'm saying I completely agree with it, but the fact that we have chimpanzees and we have us, and we don't have any sort of homeostasis in between. Like we don't have a caveman still, hanging around.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's questionable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We still have monkeys.
You just don't have them around.
It's weird that we don't have a lot of middle species that are still around.
Supposedly we do, but
It's
still like fish that have that kind of sort of walk on land and stuff. Kind of stuff.
Yeah, but see, I'm specifically talking about from
apes.
our relation from apes.
That's the problem because it doesn't matter. Like dogs have never become anything other than dogs. They have been around for I don't know. Domesticated dogs,
a long time.
probably more than 2,000,
A very long time.
at least 6,000 years.
Yeah.
And Siberia huskies go back
a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we've only seen dogs, and that's a long period of time, really long, almost inconceivable. That's like 600 lifetimes, or that's like 60 lifetimes for us.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, well, you need more time for that, and I feel like it'll never happen. And in another 6,000 years, we will probably see dogs still, But they're like, oh, well, it has to be 1 million. No one's observed that amount of time. Like we as human beings haven't even existed in that amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
How can you say that measurement even exists in terms of a time scale? It's like what? Because then as well, it's just not observable. You can't repeat it, and you can't really make predictions off of it because your predictions don't come true.
Yes.
Unless you want to be like, well, if we just added some more time to it, I feel like that's how it is. Like, oh, the Big Bang could happen if we just made it 15 billion years ago. Like that's not even a number. Like it is a number, but that's not conceivable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real. It's like a fairy tale.
It's like Pixie Dust.
Yeah. It's like and I'm not telling you this so that you can agree with me.
Oh, I mean, I don't agree with anything you said.
That's fine. But I think that those are a couple of the main things that people have tried to indoctrinate this. If you can get someone to believe that the whole universe sprang from nothing, which nothing in itself is its own separate concept that's really just inconceivable, not scientific at all.
Yep.
And also, they say the universe was condensed to the size of a marble inside of this nothing. So if it is the size of a marble, since size is relative, there has to be something to compare it to. Because I'm only this big because you're right there.
Mm-hmm.
And all these objects are around. So if there's nothing, it's everything. There's no size.
But isn't that just the answer? It just goes around and around.
Exactly. It's like a little cycle. But then it's like, okay.
But that's like
it exploded.
That's almost
and created everything. That's like God.
That's the same thing as God.
That's almost the way everything in life works. So it just goes round and round.
Yeah.
Like you can spin your head all day long trying to think about things, and you'll never find an answer.
Well, that's the problem. Is I don't know. I think if we search long enough, there are concepts that can make sense. Like I understand that the universe is probably just fractal and it never ends and it never began. Again, like it goes to it kind of touches on like a religious thing, like in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, what's a beginning? What do you mean by that? Like there's a beginning to a book, but when did you begin? And then it just never ends.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's a forever question.
It's a forever question.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a maze. It's like they've set up these kind of inconceivable parameters for us to exist in that we can never observe or verify. And then we kind of go around in this endless maze of like supposition and extrapolation until we die. And then the whole process starts over again. We're just like machine.
I mean, that's
shit.
That really touches base on us living in a simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like fucking Tim
showed
me that video of that guy from Whitest Kids You Know, where it's like that rap he made about his computer becoming intelligent.
Yeah.
And then the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
That's a real scripture
from
Samaria.
It talks about how we were like it's a little
iffy because one of the scholars wrote books about it, Zachariah Sitchin. He wrote the book 10th Planet and that whole series, but it talks about how monkeys, we were genetically engineered from monkeys to create spaceships for aliens, to create a launching pad for their spaceship because they had been marooned there because they were in an intergalactic war and Mars was their base and they had to get back to Mars. All this crazy shit. Anyways, so
there's a lot of weird.
Yes, there's a lot of weird stuff, but they say you're in a digital probation.
There's a lot of weird Aztec artifacts that kind of hit on the whole spaceship thing.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff. There's definitely some like ancient astronaut stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't jive with a lot of the ancient aliens theories. My hair is. I did jive with it at one point in time because I was very hopeful that my life could be saved by a super intelligent race.
Why do you feel like you need to be saved though?
Well, at that point, I felt like it'd be really cool if there's some savior race
Answer?
out there. Yeah, some answer. Where do we come from?
Yeah.
You know, what's happening?
I don't even think there will ever be an answer.
There probably won't, and that's the issue. Is that a lot of what we are taught is that
There is an answer.
there is an answer, and we've already figured it out. And anyone who says that, anyone who questions that, threatens the system.
Mhm.
And if anything, people who question it,
Should be the system.
yeah, people who, yeah, exactly, people who question it, how do you say it? Reinforce the system. So they make it more stable, because if you're rigid in nature,
Yeah.
you break apart. A tree goes with whatever's happening.
Mhm.
It stays up for thousands of years because it goes with shit.
Yeah.
It goes in the wind. It's like, oh, that's
It goes towards the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going towards the sun. But people, they've created a system where on our way to reaching the light, whatever that is, you call it truth.
Yeah.
On our way to reaching for the sun,
They
the
want a
energy,
structure.
they created this like nasty maze so that we get all fucked up on our way to reaching the sun and being like, and then we're basically fucked. And when you take away that system, it's just like it's like a limp dick.
Yeah.
Like that's what most people are, just
That's
a limp
why
dick.
we just need a new system.
Yeah.
But
I mean, maybe not necessarily. Yeah.
but that's
definitely
just
a new
such an
system.
undermining task. Like that, there's so many parts of the system. It'll never happen in a lifetime. Like it takes generations.
I
for it to
think
happen.
my opinion on it is that
Free
free
market,
market entrepreneurship
and
and consumerism,
free
free consumerism, in terms of like a free kind, like freedom,
is
is going to change because in entrepreneurship, which is what I'm interested in, you can create value for things that people want. And then there's a growing number of people who want things like that, who want to change the system, who want different things, whether that be fucking, pasture-raised eggs or whatever it is, a product, BPA-free water bottle, or like new stuff that people want. We can create value for new things, new education, all different kinds of things. And I feel like that's the way, and it has to be free in terms of like free from very much constraint, in terms of like taxation and kind of like government intervention. Because we've had mommy and daddy government kind of looming over us for a little too long. We need to kind of limit that a little bit. And make it
But
to
they're not going to let that happen.
no, of course not, because they get lots of money.
Yeah. You don't want to fuck with their money.
Yeah, it's like if we told NASA to go fuck themselves, we're gonna try and figure out Earth before we go somewhere else. You dumbass. Why don't we deal with the shit here and not send some lone group of sociopaths out into the middle of the universe to found a new world?
Yeah.
You taught them all the bullshit that's making this world bad. Why would they go make another world better?
Because this world's going bad.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Where our whole race is succulents. We just suck up dry and then we move on.
Yeah, exactly.
And although there might be an individual that doesn't agree with that, that's the way it goes.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the way a virus works. There might be one little nuance in that virus that doesn't agree with what they're doing, but that's not how it's going to happen.
That's true. I mean, I feel like we're kind of I don't know. I mean, cactuses definitely have a relationship that's healthy with the environment, though. Or at least, maybe it's not conscious of it.
Mm-hmm. So cactuses are better than we are?
Cactuses are way fucking better. At least they don't drink up all the water in the fucking world.
Yeah, they save some of it.
Yeah, but they store it. They're pretty efficient.
But they are pricks on
They
the
drink a
outside.
little bit. They are pricks.
Yeah, we're pricks.
You kind of have to be in the desert though. Fucking snakes and shit. Like
Hawks.
yeah, there's plenty of just douchebag animals out there. Snakes, little rat creatures that like come and eat your food.
Scorpions.
Scorpions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a protective mechanism, but
Yeah.
it's still just because you have to, or else the birds will eat you.
Well, hawks land on them. They
Really?
use cactus needles to kill their prey sometimes. So, yeah.
What?
Yeah, you'll see like dead carcasses hanging on the side of cactuses. They'll land.
Whoa.
They'll land on the cactus and they'll eat them up there, and then they just leave them.
That's baller. Oh my god, that's so baller.
It's like a desert hawk or something like that.
Oh man, that's
That's
so.
so legit.
But I don't know. I don't think we're ever gonna find an answer.
No,
You and me will die.
I don't
off
think so either.
and-
The science is about getting closer to the truth. It's never about arriving at it because you never do.
So when
And religion is about guessing the truth.
religion is about thinking you know it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of religious type behavior in the scientific community, which is an issue because then it comes to, okay, well, my taxes, I don't pay typically I don't pay any taxes at all. But a lot of people whom I care about who pay a lot of taxes, especially property taxes, that all go to the government that pay for public schools. Like, I don't want children to be taught things that are basically just indoctrinating. That, you know, I don't want little kids to be taught how to think. You know, I want them to be able to think critically, think for themselves, you know, make their own decisions, and not be indoctrinated into information just because you have to learn it. I mean, that's crazy. That's why I'm definitely, you know, if I have kids, definitely not. I'm gonna try and send them to public school, or there should be like a framework. If you're taking your kid to public school, here's what's gonna happen, and here's how you can help them get through that experience and come out the other side and still be, you know, still be genuine and be able to be yourself and be able to not have to do drugs and, you know, drink just to be okay with yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you're really subjecting it to a whole group. You don't think that we came out somewhat ourselves?
What do
What
you
do you mean?
Why we went through public education? You don't feel like you're yourself?
I mean, I feel
it now. I've had to work a lot to get away from that.
That would also rely a lot on the parenting.
it does
have a lot to do with parenting, but then it's just piled on top of that.
Would you think it's better to not teach your kid at all, or to have them go to school and speak to them like an actual human being and be like, okay, look, that might not be true. You know, you need to learn this, but there's a possibility that.
Yeah, I mean, I think public school should be.
So you think it's better to just not teach them anything at all?
No, I don't think it should be forced.
Because if you don't teach them anything at all, then what kind of structure do they have?
Exactly.
Because you wouldn't necessarily be able to give them the right answers. You'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think it should be forced.
I think that, and I don't think
There should be public schools. I think it should be all privatized because then school would be cheap.
But then we'd be getting a lot of different
Always
mixed views, like
great.
thousands and thousands of
That's
mixed.
better than having one that's bullshit.
That might cause a lot of chaos, though, in
that's good.
our nation.
It's a good thing.
And what about the podunk little ass towns where you get Dick and Jane having, 20 kids,
Mm-hmm.
and none of them go to school, and they only know how to speak 5 words? What happens then? And then our system, our taxes would still have to pay to keep them stable. I'm sure that.
Well,
I don't
I don't
know
know
about
about that.
Yeah,
I don't think you have to.
because they'd be living off the government probably.
Probably. Why?
We're paying the government.
I'm talking about an ideal situation.
I think that ideal situation has a lot of flaws.
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure it does, but it can be solved.
I
don't
agree.
think it's solved
I agree.
by
Something can be
force.
solved, but it'd have to be something else.
Yeah,
I mean, we could figure something out for those people.
we
We
could
could figure out a way
maybe
to
get
get parents on a
cheap
cheap
payment.
payment plan with interest.
They don't care.
If they don't care, then that's.
Have you ever met anybody living off the system that doesn't give a shit?
Oh yeah.
of
They don't
course.
give a shit.
So
So
they're
they're not going to teach their kids
English.
English?
Is
Is
that
that what you're saying?
They're not going to sit down with them and have school structured. We're going to learn English today. They're just going to learn whatever they say, and probably half the English that they know is wrong.
okay?
So you're saying that
People
people can't learn language
on
on
their
their own? Because what if they get to be 18?
And they know 5 words.
and then
I would be really impressed if someone knew only 5 words.
I mean, they would know more, but what about writing, reading?
okay, so you can't learn that.
You can, but do you think that they're going to take the time to teach them?
Well, if you need a job,
It's pretty.
it's an
But
obligation.
they're living off the system. They don't need
Why
a
would they
job.
be living off system?
If they're
This is just a scenario
Scenario.
family, because there's millions of families
If
that
they
are.
are living off the family, I would say, if they are living off that,
I
I
would,
would say
there
there would
would
need to be like some kind of complex, some kind of complex system instead of it just being you're living off the government. It's like,
But
you're going to live off the government.
millions of
and then
families already
you're
do that. So I said millions of families already live off the system. So why don't we have that set up already?
Because that's just kind of enabling people. It's not really a government system out to help.
like
Welfare
isn't it's
it's
not
not that's not its intention.
like
Like Planned Parenthood,
Mm-hmm.
when it was created, that's not the intention.
it was.
The intention was to basically marginalize minority people.
I mean,
You're enabling single mothers,
um,
not enabling single mothers, but enabling family structures to disintegrate,
and
and that's okay. You're enabling people to sit around.
You're saying Planned Parenthood?
No, I mean like
program
programs like that, welfare, Social Security,
Mm-hmm.
Planned Parenthood, all different kinds of things like that, government
type.
type programs.
They were
They're
all
also like welfare, just marginalizes minority people.
you
Yeah,
know,
it enables them to not do anything.
my
My grandma's on welfare.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there are quite a few people that need to be on welfare.
Maybe some of
welfare
them need to be, but
to disable people.
yeah, I mean I don't care about that. I'm not talking about people who need to be. I'm talking about people where
They abuse the system.
the intervention is at the wrong spot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're a single mother? Okay, where the fuck is his husband? He needs to get the fuck back here and do his job.
But a lot of America is like that. And that's where not having a public education would come in. That those people would suffer huge amount because they're not going to take the time.
Basic education is cheap.
You're
You're
saying
saying people wouldn't take the time
To teach their kids,
to teach their kids
or
send them to school.
if it wasn't forced, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You
Why-
think
why
parents
do
won't
we
get
need
rid of
to-
their kids for a day?
Why do we need to
Pay
spend?
money to do that?
No.
No.
What if
Okay.
what if you get that kid on a job and he starts making money to bring into the household?
okay.
So now you just got like a little family of workers, hard workers that aren't even making that much.
When that kid becomes an adult, he can do
And
whatever he wants.
then you have an uneducated person voting.
Oh, there are plenty of people who are educated and don't make good decisions.
Yeah. This is true.
Especially in the voting arena. Again, I'm not set on anything.
Yeah.
I'm just defending a position.
Like I said, something needs to happen, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think
And I don't really think anybody knows exactly what.
if you're gonna keep forced, if you're gonna keep forced education, just take a look at the schools.
Mhm.
Crying out loud.
It's everything that needs to be changed interlocks with one another.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of the point of how it's set up.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of movies and documentaries that cover that. But basically, super intelligent maniacal, just psychopathic people set up this country so that it would be almost impossible to turn it around into something else. Because
if they really had that in mind,
well,
I think their main goal was to make money, and that's just how it played out.
I don't know.
it could have been that for sure. But
Because Rockefeller's father, his main goal was to make money.
scam people.
Yeah, and to make money.
I guess maybe if you just added time to it. So let's say you created a system and then eventually people become dependent on it. And so we get to arguments like this. Oh, there should just be free enterprise education. Okay,
Yeah.
well, what about these people who are poor and don't, are they get education? And then it starts,
Snowballing.
it starts like pushing back. So it's like, we need free enterprise education. We don't need all this government intervention. But if we don't, some people are going to suffer for it.
Yeah.
So there's like a risk reward type thing. I'm pretty harsh, and I think people should suffer for it because that's what freedom is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what education should be. Because I feel like that's why everyone loves like the Harry Potter movies. Because that shit's real education. And I'm not talking about learning magic. I'm talking about they teach them skills. Like they have a botany class where you learn how to plant your own vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you how to use a wand, which is basically just technology. Magic can be kind of compared to technology, whether it's natural or man-made. So it's like in Harry Potter, they teach them how to defend themselves, how to use spells, which is basically like another word for different programs, different technologies. Like another thing would be like martial arts. Learn how to fight. Learn how to defend yourself. You don't learn how to do that. You learn how to be patrolled around the school by security guards or cops.
And to be nice to everybody.
Yeah, and there are no guns on a school. There's none of that. There's no weapons. There's no weapons class where you learn how to fight and learn how to deal with combat in stressful situations. There are no classes like that. There's not like a religion class where you learn. Well, I mean, there might be, maybe not in elementary school, but there isn't like a class where you learn about all the belief systems and like even through ancient times and like how
really what it comes down to, if you want to instill that type of education in your child, you just have to homeschool.
Yeah, or just start a private institution
that does that.
Yeah.
So should that be our goal, to just start a school like that?
It's already a goal. Eventually, yeah.
Be the principal of this said school.
I don't know. I might not be fit to be a principal.
Well, Steven's got some nunchucks he's walking around with.
Walking around with samurai swords?
Be like,
yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be
chops another kid's head off.
I mean,
that's a different story.
Yeah.
People like to. I'm not saying you are. The whole thing with guns is like people like to stand on people's graves so that they can justify. So they can justify taking away people's guns. I don't know who they are.
So they can justify their beliefs and their actions.
Yeah,
you don't believe in guns, and this person did something bad with a gun. So
it's like okay.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter because. If you take away, even if you successfully, which is ridiculous, which would require a police state, even if you took away everyone's guns.
Yeah,
right there. Hypothetical. Even if you did that, there's other things. You can make bombs at Home Depot.
You can make guns.
50 people.
You can make guns out of Home Depot.
And you can make guns. From Home Depot stuff. I mean, if you just know you have a blueprint for it, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. You can make an RPG. I mean, it might be janky. It might blow up while you're holding it.
Yeah, but you could do it.
But I mean, you can do a lot, and if you put pressure on those products, then people are going to go to other things. They're going to become more desperate. Mm-hmm. And when people get desperate, they do shit like what happens when you outlaw drugs.
Exactly.
They get desperate and they're like, all right, well, let's just go this way.
We'll make the alcohol.
Yeah. And by the way, Johnny Rockefeller started
Yeah,
the coalition against alcohol because of ethanol.
Yeah, he wanted to. He didn't want people using it as gas. Because back then you could use ethanol. Yeah.
And that's what I mean.
And he was trying to cap the market on fuel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of people that have been in charge. Like fucking Thomas Edison, fucking douche McGee, fucking stole Tesla's ideas and burned down his whole lab.
It's like,
And he's like an American hero.
He's like,
everyone's like, oh, Thomas Edison used to live.
Mhm.
it's like, no, he's not. He's a fucking savage.
He's terrible.
That's who we were. You said at the beginning of this, we're all.
I mean, we were all savages. Tesla didn't seem like such a savage. He was like, oh, everyone gets free energy. I'm working on this thing that's supposed to give everyone energy.
Yeah, but free is a bad word in our society.
Accessible.
Yeah.
Like easily accessible to everyone. Thomas was like, I want to be rich, bitch.
Exactly. Everybody wants to be rich.
Yeah, but in that context, I would give away all my money to have free energy. For everyone, I would just give away all of whatever I needed because then everyone can live fine. There wouldn't be any more poor people. It would be like there wouldn't be a class system. There wouldn't be anything except I can do whatever I want because I have unlimited energy, or at least a substantial amount. Then there would be like, oh, do you have a little bit of unlimited energy, or do you have like a lot? It would be like the new wealth would be energy.
Yeah.
Want to buy a new component that gives you more energy so you can do more stuff. And then we would have like super cultures.
Well, that would be a society more built on science, though. We're giving away energy instead of a piece of paper that says it's worth something.
Yeah. So that would be scientific. Yeah. It would be. It would be like a super science world. It wasn't held back by fucking, I wouldn't say capitalism, but like corporatism.
Mm-hmm. But somebody would try to cap energy.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure someone would try and scheme it, but then if everyone has energy, like good luck with that, dude. They'll find you out, especially with technology nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You can find people out like that. Send like a little too much energy to their house. I don't know. That was just
a surge protector or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine that kind of fucking place, man, where you could do anything. You could build anything.
It's very tantalizing, but we'll never know.
I think we will know.
I don't think we will.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I want to bring back his technologies. That would be awesome.
I think
there are people
when we were
who
kids,
claim to have free energy machines.
When we were kids, the idea of how fast our society was going to move was like huge to us. You know, we thought we were going to see all these things so quickly. And
Yeah.
I don't think we will. As we get older, it seems to just like slow down.
I don't know. I feel like this is like the age of information.
We don't have flying cars yet.
Who wants a flying car?
I do. It would solve. Think about our traffic system would be solved so quickly if we just took it to 3D. Like that's one of our biggest problems with traffic is that it's based off of a 2D scale.
I don't know.
What about crashes?
What about crashes? You have X amount of height in the air.
But people are
You could.
so dumb.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but imagine the people on 360
Yeah.
driving in the air.
Now imagine those people not putting their kids to school.
Good. They can fall out of the
They're
sky,
getting
bro.
even dumber.
I was driving in the air going to do that. So you're saying that if you don't get a public school education, you won't know how to drive a car, and you won't be able to learn how to drive it either. You can't go.
No,
oh,
I'm
do
saying-
this and this happens.
I'm saying-
that happens.
I'm saying those dumb people on 360 are now not putting their kids through school, and they're getting even dumber.
We're talking about one hypothetical at a time, motherfucker.
So
we're talking about
everything's locked
flying
together.
cars right
Everything's locked together.
Okay, let's X out the no public school or forced school. just flying cars.
Yeah.
We're talking about the people on 360 in the air now. What are you gonna have sections of air where you can go into?
Maybe
Because what if
barriers,
someone's flying down
invisible
like
magnetic
3
barriers.
people?
Invisible magnetic barriers?
Yeah, you just bump off this little wall.
What's wrong with a train?
You gotta have rail.
Or a plane.
A plane is 3D. That's good, but everything on the ground
But
is
that's controlled by
such
air
a
traffic.
two-dimensional. You know, you take a light and then you do this. There needs to be
Are
more
you talking about skylights?
overhead.
Like floating lights in the air?
No, not skylights, but maybe like double like lanes.
Or
You have one on
like
top,
a-
like on
you're talking
35. You
like
got
a digital
kind of
grid
grid
map
that
that
your
your car
knows.
knows.
So
So it's like you're going into the
I mean, that could be it.
2B section.
That could
and
be
you just
it.
kind of fly through that area,
and
and then it's like your altitude is this much, and then
Yeah.
like
Or maybe
Descends
rails,
to-
maybe like
descends to-
rails above all the major roadways. Because a lot of kids these days aren't getting their license. Like it's actually,
really.
I believe it's almost at a low, an all-time low. How many of the new generations are going out to get their license? Like almost a lot of kids these days just take Ubers, or they'll get taxis, or what have you, or they just live in the vicinity that they work and they eat and everything. I think maybe a lot more light rails would help out.
yeah.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't know. I don't like the whole flying car thing because I don't like flying. So
Oh,
maybe I'm just biased.
okay. Well,
But I hate
like
to
I
use
said,
that
I said
line
where.
unless I have a
Like we
parachute.
haven't seen flying cars yet, and we were supposed to.
But yeah, I see what you mean. We
Yeah.
haven't seen that yet. But at the same time, this is like
Yeah.
so everything's speeding up.
In 100
Shit's
years, they're
gonna
gonna
happen.
look back on now and be like, "That was the age of dumbass."
I know.
Yeah,
Like
they didn't know
the
shit back then.
age of social justice warriors and
Fucking
And
cucks.
yeah, cuckolds
Cuckolds.
watching their wives get fucked.
so
gross.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's definitely going to happen.
And
I
I
think the reason why everything's been built like this is so that
we
we can
can
be kind of closed. We can be in like a closed system where we don't think any of these other things are possible because we've been taught since we were a little kid, we figured everything out.
yeah,
and
I
I mean
mean,
that's
that's kind of an issue that we're solving. We're like, oh, Columbus did discover America. Oh, not gonna say everyone thinks this, but
yeah.
Darwin is the fucking weirdo who studied theology,
And
it's like
a
a product of incest. Fuck that guy. Get out of here.
mm-hmm.
Big Bang sounds weird and has fallacies in it. Just a bunch of stuff. Like, so Thomas Edison was a dickhead.
you might
Might
have
have discovered a way to enslave people to an energy system
they
they probably would need.
like
It's like, oh,
okay.
okay.
It's like
It's like,
all right. So
so
then
then
it's
it's like, okay, politics. What are politics? Well, it's like an infinite maze
of
of
taking
taking action for things.
Yep.
That probably won't ever amount to much.
Yep.
and
And
then
then it's like, oh well, we need to start fucking doing something different.
I
I
think
think it means
kind
kind
of
of like I don't think it means leaving the country or escaping anything. I think it just means creating your own world here. And I think that's what America was originally set up to be.
I believe that too.
Is
Yeah.
creating your own thing,
like
like doing
creating
creating your own culture
around
around whatever you fucking want it to be. That's why there was an inclusion of religion, inclusion of whatever you wanted to believe. Even though it says in God we trust, that's fine. But that's why there are all these rights put into place, is so that eventually one day we can get to a point where we can all have things like what I'm a real big fan of is Kickstarter, crowdfunding campaigns where you can literally just have a good idea and portray it a certain way and people will fund you. and get your project started. Whatever it is, it could be, I want to start a school. That's amazing. I want to.
It's just the shit. It's a great. That's a great thing that we're there. That we're at that point now. But the shitty part is all the slack you'll get from it, feedback and the naysayers.
Oh yeah.
And basically, where we started this conversation is people bitching and thinking that they have a point to prove.
Yeah, exactly.
And then exactly like everything else, it's just a vicious circle. It comes back around on itself no matter what.
Yeah. And it is a vicious circle, and we need to get out of it. We need to start doing our own thing, and making our own culture. Being like, I'm not going to do that. Actually, I'm going to do whatever I want. Fuck you. It's crazy, but that's kind of why America was set up, is so that one day we could create the ultimate. It wouldn't be flawless, because people usually say like utopia.
There's flaws to everything.
Yeah, exactly. There's flaws to everything. Like,
we just have to minimize the flaws.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just the same as you'll never get flawless, but we get closer to it incrementally. Just like we never get closer. We never get to the truth. We get closer to it. So that's one thing. Is it's like we'll get to a point where it's a badass place to be. Just all around. It's fucking awesome. But it takes a long time, and it people going against what we've been told. Yeah, and at the very least, just questioning everything. Like question professors, question scientists, question your parents, question religion, even the ones that make the most sense. Because I've run into those, belief systems and things that feel good. That a lot of people like to side with what makes them feel good.
Yeah, and what gives them the answer to that question that you always
satisfies them.
Yeah,
and that's what people should be the most afraid of, is things that satisfy you, because that's what your body's looking for. It's looking for a stasis. It's looking for something to go, oh, there it is. Okay, now I can relax and be a docile, submissive person. And once you accept those kind of things, instead of just marching on, like, no, I don't think we found it yet. There's probably another side to it. There's some guy that me and Julian follow. His name's Tobias Lars, and he has this quote that I always go back to, because it's perfect for almost everything. He says it's never either or, it's always both and more. And it's like the best. It's the best. It's the best fucking thing ever. It's always both of the sides.
Yeah.
And then more than that. Like, the side's right, that side is also right.
But there's more to it.
But there's more.
Yeah.
So it's both of them combined, and then more stuff. So it's like it doesn't end. And then that's also another thing. Just because you never get to the truth doesn't mean that it is itself an infinite maze. Like what we were talking about. That kind of the whole global system we have has been created as kind of like a rat maze, where it's really hard to get out of or have anything that's different than it because of how it's set up. So, if we're talking about getting closer to truth and getting closer to all these things, it's just different. It doesn't mean that it's not, that it's also an infinite maze. Yeah. That can sound like it too. It's like, oh, you'll never get to the truth. So it's like, what are you doing then? Why are you even looking?
Because that's what we always do.
Yeah, I know.
It's mankind's nature to look.
That is one thing we always do, is just keep going no matter what.
I think that's a pretty good conclusion to not keep going.
Not keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least not keep going in the direction that you've been programmed your whole life to go in, just because you've been told to go in that direction. Now, I'm not saying that any other directions are not good either. So I mean, like, there are a lot of directions. Like if you can become a doctor or something, that's totally cool.
I don't think that's
That's not bad or anything. Some people do really well in the system that we have. Or a lawyer, whatever you love to do is good. But some people like myself, I feel like we've been cheated out of an experience and are always like looking back to those kind of portrayals of what we want our society to be like. Like that's why we connect to movies so much. It's because they display what we love, what we wish we had.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the movie Avatar. And movies like that is because there's like a sense of they don't pay attention to risk. They're like, these are the things you need to do, and you might die while doing them, but at least you died going after what you
wanting to do,
what you want to do. And it's like. Yeah, that's another quote that I love. Is like the Theodore Roosevelt quote where he talks about the man in the arena. And he's like, the real man that's allowed to, the real person that's allowed the judgment is the person who actually lives. He actually is in the arena. It's not the person who's in the stands or commenting from the side, comfortably. It's the person who actually does the thing and fails and does it again. The person who lives while daring greatly, while doing what they want to do. And that's the biggest part. Is it's like that's why we're connected to all those movies. Is because we want that. We want that in our life, and we didn't get it. That's why we like Harry Potter, because our school system sucks now. It doesn't teach us things we need, and we all pick up on that subconsciously. And we're all like, this is bullcrap. Like, I could have been cheated out of a life I could have had.
Out of being a wizard?
Yeah, out of being a wizard. Like, in a metaphorical sense. Like a wizard.
Maybe in another lifetime you were.
Maybe. I'm going to become one. I am becoming one. So I don't really
shamanistic.
Yeah, I don't really care now. As much, because now I'm on that path, to becoming what I want to be. But there's so much, so much turbulence, and I think a positive takeaway from this is, society's been set up this way, and we kind of need to break free of it. But what I would call it is necessary resistance. So it's enough resistance for you to, whenever you push beyond it, you are better because of it. So the system is kind of messed up, but us overcoming the system makes us that thing we want to be.
Yeah.
And each part of it is like this perfect resistance against us. And, if we kind of see that more as assistance instead of resistance, pushing against instead of like assisting us towards where we want to go, then, people will be a lot better off if they go, oh, well, that's just there so that I can later on become who
better
I need
and stronger.
Yeah, stronger.
Yeah. As long as you don't fall in the system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It'll bite you in the ass.
Don't fall in the maze, because the Minotaur will get you.
Yeah. It'll look you in the ass.
Is that from that movie?
Isn't there a movie where he gets raped by the... Oh, yeah, Your Highness. Yeah. And he's got like that's right. Like huge slong.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was such a ridiculous movie.
That's how they came up with that movie. This conversation.
Goddamn. Well, I don't know. It sounds like a rap.
Well, that's where I was getting at earlier when I was like, that sounds like a conclusion.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was wrapping it up nice and smooth like the present.
I thought you were just saying that was a conclusion.
I was like, that sounds like a good conclusion to not go on anymore. See how that works?
You're welcome to say that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Kind of feeling
That's a wrap.
I could. Yeah, I could.
No, I'm ready to stand up.
Stand up.
It's almost been 2 hours.
That's true. I've had like 3.5.
Yeah.
Anyways,
By yourself.
thanks for tuning in, guys.
You just play by yourself.
A lot
A
of
lot of fun.
3 hours.
Yeah. Anyways,
All right, guys.
see you
Thanks
later.
for watching my podcast. Alphabet. I'll see y'all in 10 years.
All right.
See you guys.